America's northern border towns are quieter than ever. Once, these streets echoed with the sounds of laughter, conversation, and the bustle of daily life. Now, a hush has settled in, and the silence feels heavier with each passing day. For generations, these communities thrived on a steady flow of Canadian visitors, shopping, vacationing, and building friendships. The border was more than a line on a map. It was a meeting place, a shared space where cultures blended and neighbors became friends. But in September 2025, that rhythm is faded. The once familiar sights of packed parking lots and lively sidewalks have been replaced by empty roads and closed signs. The change is stark, and it's impossible to ignore. The stream of Canadian tourists has slowed to a trickle, leaving a void both economic and emotional. Local businesses that depended on cross-border traffic now struggle to stay afloat, and the sense of community has been shaken. This isn't just a dip in travel, it's a tourism crisis. The ripple effects are felt everywhere, from empty motels and restaurants to the quiet parks and attractions that once drew crowds from both sides. Canadians are choosing to spend their holidays and money elsewhere, and the impact is deeply felt by towns and businesses that once relied on their presence. For many, the loss is not just financial, but personal, a break in the relationships that made these places unique. The easy camaraderie that defined these regions now feels like a memory, replaced by uncertainty about the future. Residents wonder if things will ever return to the way they were, or if this new quiet is here to stay. As we explore this phenomenon, we'll see how political words and actions ripple through the lives of ordinary people on both sides of the border. Policy decisions made far away have real, lasting consequences for families, friendships, and livelihoods here. We'll look at the numbers, hear personal stories, and examine how local leaders are trying to keep their doors open. Their resilience is tested daily, but their hope for renewal remains strong. This is the story of America's tourism crisis, and what's lost when neighbors no longer feel welcome. It's a story about more than economics. It's about the bonds that hold communities together, and what happens when those bonds are stretched to the breaking point. At the heart of this decline is a political chill that has settled over the border. Under President Trump, policies and rhetoric made many Canadians feel unwelcome, eroding decades of goodwill and mutual respect between the two nations. Stricter border controls and stories of harsh treatment by U.S. agents spread quickly, making the border feel less friendly and more intimidating. For many, the risk of a difficult encounter outweighs the benefits of a holiday. The fear of being detained or questioned for hours is a strong deterrent. Economic factors add to the problem. A strong U.S. dollar and rising inflation make trips more expensive, reducing the appeal of cross-border shopping and vacations. The old allure of American shopping and attractions can't overcome the new sense of unease and financial strain. Many Canadians now choose to vacation at home or abroad, where their money goes further, and they feel more valued and welcomed. The U.S., once a comfortable and familiar destination, is now viewed with caution and uncertainty. The political climate has changed the cross-border experience, turning what was once a simple trip into a careful calculation filled with potential risks. Emotional distance, more than any single policy, is what keeps Canadian cars off American highways, creating a sense of separation that is hard to bridge. The statistics are stark. They paint a picture of empty spaces and lost opportunities, echoing across the borderlands and deep into the heart of American towns and cities. In August 2024, Canadian car visits to the U.S. dropped 34% from the previous year, a dramatic decline that left border crossings unusually quiet and local economies reeling. New York, a state that relies heavily on Canadian visitors, saw a 22% drop in land crossings from Canada in July 2025. The ripple effects were felt from Buffalo to the Adirondacks. New Hampshire's Canadian tourism numbers fell 30% over 2 years. Vermont's border crossings hit record lows, leaving small towns and rural businesses struggling to stay afloat. Even the Adirondack Mountain Club, a magnet for outdoor enthusiasts, saw a 25% drop in visitors, impacting guides, lodges, and local shops. On the West Coast, Oregon's Canadian spending fell by 50% in 2025. Once busy beach towns and scenic destinations now face shuttered storefronts and empty promenades. California, after a record tourism year, now faces a 9% drop in international visitors and billions in lost revenue. The Golden State's hotels, restaurants, and attractions are feeling the pinch. Las Vegas, a city built on tourism, saw an 18% drop in Canadian tourists. The impact is visible on the Strip, in casinos, and at once bustling resort pools. North Dakota lost $14.4 million in Canadian spending in just 6 months, a staggering blow for small towns that depend on cross-border shoppers and visitors. Nationally, the U.S. is projected to lose $12.5 billion in international tourism spending in 2025. The effects are widespread, touching every corner of the country. Each number is an empty hotel room, a missed restaurant booking, a struggling business. Behind every statistic is a story of livelihoods put at risk. The welcome mat is out, but fewer Canadians are stepping on it. The numbers don't just tell a story, they reveal the challenges and uncertainty facing communities across America. Behind the numbers are real stories of loss. In places like Old Orchard Beach and North Conway, business owners miss not just the revenue, but the friendships built over years with Canadian visitors. Some Canadians now email to apologize for not coming, citing discomfort and safety concerns. The economic fallout is real. Hotels and restaurants are laying off staff, and the social fabric of these towns is fraying. Even the Canadians who do visit now come for shorter trips, spending less and leaving quickly. The vibrant, bustling atmosphere has faded, replaced by caution and uncertainty. The impact ripples through entire communities, from housekeepers to shopkeepers. The heart of these towns beats slower without their northern neighbors. The absence is felt in every empty room and quiet street. State and local leaders are fighting to reverse the trend. Maine's governor put up Bienvenue Canadiens signs, a direct appeal to French-speaking visitors. New Hampshire's governor is promoting the state as safe and welcoming, countering negative perceptions. These campaigns are grassroots diplomacy, trying to rebuild trust and remind Canadians of past good experiences. Oregon and California are diversifying, courting visitors from Asia and Europe and investing in domestic tourism. But local leaders admit their power is limited. A welcoming sign can't offset federal policies or national rhetoric. The root causes, perception, border hassles, political tension, are largely out of their hands. They're fighting a strong current, hoping their message of friendship can still make a difference. States can't escape the shadow of federal policy. Decisions in Washington shape how the U.S. is seen abroad, and local marketing can't erase the effects of tariffs, strict security, and divisive language. Even the friendliest border town can't overcome a hostile border experience. The federal government controls the gateways, and when those feel like barriers, visitors stay away. Stricter immigration enforcement and political instability add to the chill. Even a spectacular autumn foliage season couldn't bring Canadians back in 2025. The issue isn't the destination, it's the journey and the welcome at the border. When the sense of hospitality is lost, even the most beautiful scenery can't compensate. The problem is national, not local. Is this a passing storm, or a permanent shift in U.S. Canada relations? Rebuilding trust will take more than time. It needs real change from the top. A new tone, respect, and a clear message that Canadians, our valued neighbors, are essential. Without this, state efforts will fall short. The risk of a long-term change is real. Canadians are discovering new destinations and building new traditions. The U.S. is no longer the default choice. To win Canadians back, federal leadership must streamline border crossings, foster joint tourism, and restore stability. People want to build memories on solid ground, not shifting political sands. This crisis is a lesson in how words and policies shape real lives. For now, the quietness lingers, a reminder of friends who are staying away.